Jean Tierney started her career as a teenage model and stage actress. Her talent and charm led her to the silver screen, where she became one of Hollywood's most recognizable stars in the 1940s and 1950s. Despite being widely acclaimed as one of the screen's great beauties, she never achieved the same level of stardom as her contemporaries, such as Ingrid Bergman and Marilyn Monroe. Jean Tierney was born on November 19, 1920, in Brooklyn to a wealthy Manhattan insurance broker. She grew up attending private schools near her family's estate in Connecticut and Switzerland. As she blossomed into a young woman, her beauty caught the attention of Hollywood, and she began receiving offers to appear in movies. However, her parents encouraged her to pursue a career on the Broadway stage instead. To support her ambitions, Jean's father established Beltier, a family-owned corporation that would manage and promote her career. Jean's first foray into acting was with small roles in two George Abbott productions, Mrs. O'Brien Entertains and Ring 2, both of which were unsuccessful. But her talent and charm shone through when she landed the role of the college co-ed's kid sister in The Male Animal in 1940. When Jean Tierney was first approached by Hollywood, she declined, feeling that she was not yet ready for the limelight. However, Darryl F. Zanuck, the head of 20th Century Fox, saw her potential and was determined to win her over. With the help of her father, Jean negotiated a unique contract with the studio. Not only did it allow her to take time off each year to return to Broadway, but it also protected her physical appearance. The contract stipulated that the studio would not change her hair color or cut her hair, nor would they straighten her teeth. Jean's first film, The Return of Jesse James, premiered to mixed reviews. Critics found her performance bland and uninspiring. Her second film, Hudson's Bay, did not fare much better. The Harvard Lampoon even named her one of the worst film discoveries of 1940. While Jean Tierney's career in Hollywood was not off to a great start, her love life was quite the opposite. She was linked to several eligible bachelors in the industry, including the infamous Howard Hughes. There were even rumors that she was engaged to Robert Sterling. Despite all the speculation, Jean surprised everyone when she eloped with fashion designer Oleg Cassini on June 1, 1941. However, her decision did not sit well with her father, who was not happy about the marriage. He even threatened to sue her on behalf of their family corporation that was managing her career. The situation created a major family feud that was eventually resolved, but not before it had lasting effects. The tension caused by the dispute was said to have contributed to the divorce of Jean's parents. After taking time off from acting to focus on her personal life, Jean Tierney returned to the movie industry with a plan to involve her family. She arranged for her mother to be hired as a Fox press agent in Manhattan and for her husband, Oleg Cassini, to design her movie wardrobes. Despite Cassini's beautiful designs and the stunning Technicolor cinematography that showcased Jean's remarkable features, critics still did not view her as a strong actress. Only two roles stood out in Jean's career according to the press: the lead in Otto Preminger's Laura, 1944, and the role of the murderous Ellen Barrent in Leave Her to Heaven, 1945. The latter performance earned her an Oscar nomination, the only one she would receive in her career. Although these films were popular with audiences, they failed to bring Jean the critical acclaim she deserved. The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, 1947, another one of her successful films, also did not bring her any significant recognition from critics. Jean Tierney's performance as Laura in Otto Preminger's film presented her with one of the most challenging entrances in movie history. Despite being named one of the year's 10 Best Pictures by Film Daily and earning an Oscar nomination for her co-star Clifton Webb, most critics felt that Tierney did not live up to her image. Tierney's portrayal of the murderous Ellen Barrent in Leave Her to Heaven, 1945, garnered her an Oscar nomination, but the critics once again failed to show her mercy. However, personal tragedy seemed to follow the actress. On October 15, 1943, Tierney gave birth to her first child, Daria, who was born blind, deaf, and with developmental challenges and was institutionalized. The child's birth defects were later attributed to German measles, which Tierney had contracted late in her pregnancy. Jean Tierney's tumultuous personal life continued to affect her career. After giving birth to her second child, Christina, in 1948, she reconciled with Oleg Cassini, only to separate again in 1947 and divorce in 1952. She then began a relationship with Ali Khan, but the Aga Khan was hesitant to have another movie star in the family and put an end to their plans to marry. The end of her romance with Khan took a toll on Tierney. She finished work on The Left Hand of God in 1955, but then walked out on a production of Ibsen's A Doll's House in which she had been cast as Nora. She suffered a nervous breakdown and was hospitalized at the Institute of Living in Hartford, Connecticut for a year and a half before being released into her mother's care. Unfortunately, Tierney had a relapse and had to be admitted to the Menninger Clinic in Topeka, Kansas for additional treatment. She stayed there for 8 months before being released. Jean Tierney returned to Hollywood in September 1958 after spending almost 2 years in treatment for a nervous breakdown. She was open about her struggles with the press, stating that her illness was her responsibility and that it was not due to cancer or any other serious illness. She was determined to resume her acting career and told reporters that she was looking for a movie role. Jean Tierney's life after retiring from Hollywood was marked by personal growth, philanthropy, and occasional returns to show business. In 1960, she married W. Howard Lee, a Houston oil millionaire and former husband of actress Hedy Lamarr. Together, they settled in Houston, where Jean wrote a column for the local newspaper chronicling her experiences in Hollywood. She also became involved in charity work, focusing on causes such as cancer research, mental health, and the care of developmentally challenged children. In an interview during this time, Jean described her new life as akin to emerging from a dark tunnel into the light. Although she returned to show business occasionally, it was never as a leading lady. Instead, she played character roles in films or made television appearances. In 1979, she co-wrote an autobiography called Self-Portrait with Mickey Herskowitz. The book was candid in discussing Jean's past difficulties, including her mental breakdown and institutionalization, her unhappy marriages, and the tragic birth of her first child. Jean also revealed in the book that she had dated John F. Kennedy during his time in the Navy. Jean Tierney spent the last 10 years of her life in semi-retirement after her husband's death in 1981. Sadly, on November 6, 1991, she passed away at the age of 70 due to emphysema. She was laid to rest in Greenwood Cemetery in Houston. It was a sad goodbye to a legendary actress whose beauty and talent graced the screens of Hollywood. Jean Tierney's legacy continues to inspire and captivate audiences today, reminding us of the enduring power of cinema. Goodbye and rest in peace, Jean Tierney.